We are eager to talk with you about whatever matters to you, and it is our desire today that you can come to a clearer understanding of how this all works, so that you can work with the laws of the universe, so that you can work in concert with your inner being who holds your desires so dearly and so steadily. Most of all, because life is supposed to feel good to you. You're supposed to be having a really good time, and when you are moving in the direction of your own creation, that's where satisfaction comes from. In fact, that's the only place that satisfaction comes from. It's from life causing you to carve out something new, and then you moving toward it. And when you don't move toward it, you don't feel so good. And if somebody else has carved it out for you, you don't feel so good either. You know that. When your mother says, here's your list of what I want you to do today, you say, you have to find me to make me do it. When your employer says, this is what is required of you, it doesn't sometimes ring your bells as much as when you wake up in the day knowing what you have planned, fishing, hiking, doing something that was inspired to you. And so there are so many wonderful things that are inspired to you day by day by day by day, and you have created a vibrational reality, your vortex of attraction, that it would keep you busy for 20 or 30 lifetimes if all of it manifested in a steady linear stream. But you didn't come just to manifest things. You came as the creator of the experience of your own life. And the things are a wonderful part of the creative experience of your own life. We're not trying to talk you out of things, and we're not trying to talk you out of action. In fact, you are an extension of source energy who came into this leading edge time-space reality, because this is where the leading edge is turning to things. And so nothing short of you manifesting everything that you're desiring is what you had planned. You intended that. We just want to help you realize that sometimes you get off track from what you are in the process of creating. You know what the primary reason is that you get off track from what you are creating? You're paying too much attention to what you have created. You keep wanting to look at what is. You keep wanting to take score of the manifestations that are already manifested. And when you look at what is, you're looking at old news. It's like gum you've chewed all the flavor out of. And every moment of your life is causing you to launch new rockets of desire. So you got to keep up with that expansion. And if that gap gets too wide, where you're launching ideas and you feel a brief enthusiasm for them, but you don't then keep flowing in the direction of them, then that gap gets wider and wider as you introduce unnecessary tension into your experience in the form of thoughts or beliefs that are contrary to your own desires. You pick up beliefs all over the place. Sometimes you learn them from others if they're steady about hammering them to you. You pick them up from your own life experience, and most of your beliefs are because you've been observing your own life experience. A belief is only a thought that you continue to think. So let's say something happened in your experience a while back, let's say 20 years ago, and you didn't like it in this example. Well, if something happened 20 years ago and you didn't like it, and you haven't thought about it since, then it's no longer a player. It's not a factor in your vibrational offering. So it's not hindering you in any way. But if it happened 20 years ago and you talked about it then, and then you talked about it 19 years ago and 18 years ago and 17, 16, 15, and you talked about it yesterday, in fact. Oh yeah, I was talking about that yesterday. Then you keep renewing that resistance and bringing it forward. So something that happened, there was just something that happened, you've allowed it to serve as resistance to who you really are and what you really want every day since, or many days since. The point that we're wanting to help you to feel is that you have a mix of vibrations because you have a mix of familiar subjects that you think about. And we're just asking you to pay attention to that mix. because sometimes you want something that your habit of thought doesn't allow. Oh boy, I'd like to have all of the money that I need to travel and have fun, but I have to continue to do what I'm doing in order to bring money in, and money doesn't grow on trees, and there's no inheritance in my future, and so this is probably as good as it's going to be for me, so I'm not going to be able to travel. So you gave birth to it and then you killed it, because your practical mind, as you face reality, as you look at the current situation, you let the current situation dominate your vibration, so you don't let your desires flow and gather the momentum that they would gather if you weren't doing that thing that you do to stop them from gathering momentum. You see what we're getting at?